from the perspective that really benefits your life, not from the perspective of shit, one more thing. Because sometimes, you know, things are piling up. With me, it was always about water. I would have a flood, and like the water heater would break, and you know, the heat is not coming, and water is cold. All of that happens through the water realm.
Oh no.
The landlord just asked me, "What's going on? You guys have like voodoo dolls in there or something?"
No,
I was like, "No, man,
it's the earth shape, I think. You know, like when you have a foundation that is being shaken, the whole thing is shaky. So it reached the top.
Right.
And then it all came down.
It literally reached the top and brought it down.
Oh God.
Hey Julie, nice to thank you for joining us today. I'm like, we're just waiting to see if there are any other people that want to join us.
Do you see her? Because I don't.
No,
no, video off. I'm still getting myself organized, but I can hear you at least.
Okay.
Welcome. We look forward to having a good conversation.
All right, this is all experiments. So we are welcoming anybody and everybody who's willing to join us, because we do need support from each other for sure. And whoever is here is supposed to be here, and whoever is not here should have a recording, because I see that you are recording it, right?
I got that to work this time.
Okay, very good. All right, so the purpose of our meeting is to look into what's going on in our lives and how we can tweak and change our perspective on what's going on. That's usually beneficial to see things for what they are, not for the fear that we have about them. So we have Julie, we just don't see her, right? And now I don't hear you. Are you muted?
Oh, there we go. Yep, sorry, I accidentally muted us. I'll get the technology thing down eventually.
All right, good. So should we start? I think we should start. 10 minutes into the meeting, yeah. And we're gonna have the meeting as long as we need. We don't need to be here for an hour or whatever, but we will see how the questions show up, if we do have any questions, and what are we doing here. Let's just look into it. So, so on Mondays, I have a broadcast with a friend of mine, Alexandra from Los Angeles. And on Mondays, we look into the energies of the week. And the reason we look into those energies is because we have the sun moving in a circle. And as it moves in a circle, it's in a circle of the human understanding. It kind of hits the energetic gates in our body. And those energetic gates are 64 of different archetypes of how we can experience life. And those archetypes have different expressions. Sometimes we feel depressed, upset, low energy. We see things from that perspective, and we feel that we're in the shadow, we're not in the sunshine. And sometimes life is okay and things are okay, and we feel like we are in a good weather. We are in a garden with the friends, having some tea, having some juice, having some good wine, and having some fun. And sometimes we feel like we are in a hot spot, that we're right in the sunshine, in a sunspot, in a spot where everybody can see us, that we're empowered, that our voices are heard. And this is the time when we experience miracles. So everywhere we go, everywhere we have life experiences, is our choices. Even though it doesn't seem this way, we actually live on impulses. Whatever emotions connect to us through people or through circumstances, we eventually get to the point where we like it or we don't like it. So when we like it, we step fully into it, and that's where we have God's spotlight, the sunshine on our face. And sometimes we hate it, we don't like it, we try to escape it, we try to hide it, and very often we go into the shadow. And sometimes we find the balance when it's good and bad is no longer in duality for us, but it's part of life in which we can continue adjusting our perceptual lenses, so we are able to see things from the perspective of how the challenges actually make our life much more interesting, give variety to our life, and allow us to grow and notice things we don't normally notice, and also learn from that. And as we learn from that, we can teach others, or we can improve our own lives. So our meeting here is to actually talk about what's going on in your life, if you're willing to share. What are the challenges? Where do you feel you're in the shadow? Where do you feel that you lost the sunshine? And where do you feel like you are coming out and this is the spotlight for you, and that's the time for you to shine? So the energies of this week is especially important because this gate, sun gate, is called revelation, the gate of revelation. So if you see something just as an experience, without attaching any emotions to it, but just as an observer to the experience, that some things will be revealed to you, and some spiritual meaning will be found, and some lessons will be learned. But if you go into the habitual, say, oh, poor me, things are happening to me, and why things are happening to me, and what did I do wrong, and why didn't I say that or this, you actually will lose that ability to embrace the holistic quality of the week, which is everything has a meaning, which I sometimes cannot see the meaning, but it's definitely not the meaning that we are on the wrong path or we are doing something wrong. The meaning here is we are growing, we are learning, and everything that comes our way comes to help us embrace that who we are, and that what we love, and that what is possible and available for us. So let's maybe start with the girls who organized this meeting for me, Faye and Vanya, and let's hear what they have to say about their week, and then we'll go to Julie and whoever else is going to join later.
Yeah, absolutely. Jinx. Well, so this year has been, you know, pretty intense for everybody in general, but Faye and I ended up actually moving from Michigan to Illinois in January. And for me, oh no, we're not muted. So for me, just to give you a quick synopsis of my personality in general, I'm stuck in a rut. I'm comfortable in routine, but I always get so angry after, you know, you're like, after you do that routine so long, I'm never satisfied. I wake up every 5 years and I'm like, what have I been doing? And I drop everything, I change everything, and still find myself in that rut every single time. And
I passed 5-year mark.
You lucked out. You lucked out, girl. But I mean, but for me, so moving to Chicago was it made sense for me because I was used to just up and doing whatever I wanted to. But this change was different because for me, this meant that I was not ever going to go back into that rut again. And it was absolutely terrifying and scary beyond anything I could ever imagine. I mean, I couldn't get out of bed. Loading the dishwasher was too much energy. Like, it was just too many things. Every single thing that you did to get through your day looked like it was this overwhelming list of things that you had to do, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't accept the fact that I needed to just accept that the world isn't this single repetitive thing, and that doesn't make me happy. And I think that for me this week, I finally did have that revelation where it was you know what? the sun is shining. I am doing something that I'm extremely passionate about. Faye and I have found our calling in helping the environment. We want to help people. We want to bring people together under the right cause. You know, like you can buy so many stupid things and buy into these branding and marketing things, and here we just have this idea of, why don't we take an energy that already feeds us in our lives and help people embrace it a little bit more. And I've been able to wake up every morning, and that to-do list is much longer than it has ever been, and I am so excited every single day to tackle it, this week at least. But for me, it was one of those really eye-opening, and, you know, like you said, I've got to step out into the sun and actually feel what that felt like without that fear bogging me down.
So what's the major fear?
I mean, all of the fears, I guess. It's the idea of not being secure, the idea of not really knowing whether I'm good enough at it, whether I deserve to feel those things. I mean, I know it seems silly, but you know, the self-doubt that you just end up buying into all of the time, I fed into that every single time. So this week it's been a, you know what, actually the things that I'm doing are good. They're good for me. They're good for the people that I love. They're good for strangers that I haven't met yet. And that makes me feel great. And I don't know why I was so afraid of it. So that's my little sharing story for the week.
Thank you. Yeah, once you go through the threshold that is holding you hostage in the situations which you already know, even though you don't like them, you already know, and you know
but
how
they're
to
comfortable.
Once you step out of it, that terrifying step out, it's okay. You see, you have arrived and you're still alive and things are happening. And once you do the first step, it's just the beginning. Once you have that step, the next step will be revealed. But we always want to know what's at the end, how many steps, and what will be the last one, and how it's going to look like. And when you say I was scared and I didn't know if I'm good at it, we will never know. It's impossible to know before you start doing something and realizing, yeah, I'm really good at it, or no, it's not my thing. Because if it's your thing, you are good at it. If it's not yours, chances are you're gonna, leave it. But I love
find out some way.
Your whole face is glowing, because like you said, that I found what I love, and your soul is connected to your mind, because the mindfulness, the revelation comes from mindfulness. So when your mind is on its own, it creates all kinds of stuff. You create fantasies that are not real, but they seem real, because for mind, I know stuff from before, so I can definitely predict what's going to be in the future. But for the soul, there is no linear time. For the soul, it's, I am here, I have arrived, it feels good. So whatever the next step is, as long as I feel good, who cares? Right. The end result is always feeling good, right? No matter what you do. End result, I get all the money, I buy all those things, I get my home fixed, blah, 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 and I feel good. So if you start feeling good right here, that's already a great achievement. Yay!
Good job.
Yay! It's been a rough ride.
So I'll share. I know I had shared some stuff with Ilana in the past, but I come from a background of entrepreneurs. So I grew up in business. I went to school to become an attorney, and I didn't do that. Then I went back to school to become a therapist, and I didn't do that either. And I always found myself doing some type of sales or consulting, because I crave human interaction. It's she can sit in the house for weeks and not see a person, not even me, and be fine. Whereas if I don't, I tend to find myself sitting in a corner hiding, like, what's wrong with the world? I haven't seen anyone. So as time went by, I found that I was just hopping from job to job. I couldn't find something that I felt like fed my soul. Literally, I've said that before I really got in touch even with my like inner like energy personality. And over the past, I'd say 5 years, I got into a larger corporation. I was selling cell phones. I was working at Verizon, and I loved the company. And I could not understand, because I always wanted to work for Verizon. They're a really good company, great benefits, a lot of advancement. And I could not understand why I was just not satisfied. I wanted to continue to do other things. So when a friend of mine reached out to me and said to come out to Illinois and check out this solar, gig industry, I was very hesitant because I hadn't found something that I felt completely like content or happy doing. So I ended up taking a week's vacation and I came out here, and I went back and I put my 2-week notice and moved back here 2.5 weeks later. And what I found was just literally being able to just talk to people about how the sun can change your life in our environment. That fed my soul. And I am so happy I did it. It's been so scary. And I know I've mentioned to you, Lana, before, I had thyroid cancer last year. And thankfully it's very treatable, but still a scary thing. I'm not even considered in remission yet. I have to test negative for 2 years. But I am definitely guilty of doing what you were mentioning earlier, victimizing myself, where it's like this happened and this happened and this happened, and really like in my mind, like I just want to get up and work hard and do the right thing. But there was just something that changed for the both of us in the past week and a half. We got up, like I was feeling lost. We started this business that we're trying to do to help change people's lives. And well, I mean, in turn, helping the planet changes people's life, our quality of life. And, I was working for a company, and I loved what I'm doing, but I couldn't get with their mindset of, money, aggressive sales tactics. And I'm not a salesperson. I'm a consultant. I'm an advisor. And for me, being able to take everything that I had been through, everything that we had been through, and really be able to like build this organism it's a vehicle that allows us to move forward and grab people and throw them in the car with us to a better environment, a better, not just like environment, but like your energy, you're feeling good.
Our space.
To a better space in life. It's really been awesome. And going from that aggressive sales to now really just we're trying to get involved in some community outreach and reaching out to different, entities that we literally just want to educate people. And if we can help them, we can help them. That all comes. All of that comes. But for us, what's important is to go to sleep every night knowing that we made an honest living, helping people and making people's lives better and making our environment better. And that's really been eye-opening over the last couple of weeks, because for a good month and a half, 2 months, there were so many things to do, and I couldn't even think about what to do. I couldn't get things done. And, I felt like I have a mood disorder. I'm bipolar, so I do fall into those trends of depression. And so I was so scared that I was going to fail. But really, failure is all a perception. And I remember I talked to you about that once, and you said, so tell me what you failed in, and I couldn't list anything off. So I replay that conversation all the time. Because at the end of the day, if I'm doing something that gives me purpose, everything else will fall into place. And like I said, over the past week and a half, like we've been doing way more things, but it's like I'm starting to feel like we're doing things rather than before. I'm just trying to claw myself out of this hole, and I'm falling even further down. So that's been really, really neat. And really what we're looking to do is just network with people and teach people and see if we can help them, or see if, you know, whatever it is that we can do to change their life. It doesn't even have to be with, you know, solar energy or whatever. If I can, you know, put myself in a position where I am radiating positive energy to somebody, making them feel good, that's the most important thing today. In fact, I told Vani the other day, I said, my goal is by the time I die, I've impacted more people that I didn't even know I've impacted than the people that I did. I just want to be there and extend that hand for people to be able to reach out, you know? So we've been up and down a roller coaster for the past couple of years, but things feel like they're starting to fall into place. And you're right, absolutely right, Lana. It's all an experience, and I feel like my mind is completely shifted in the past year. I don't think the way I used to.
Great, that's a great report, and I really admire your ability to see that you are connected to everyone, and it's not, you don't do things for you, you don't do things for other people, you just live your life, stepping one step at a time and keeping that focus on what you want in life, which is amazing. You know, changing the environment of the earth, helping the earth to support us, supporting earth, and then the earth supports us back. And so that cycle of energies that we create for each other and for the earth, and the earth gives us back the same, and the sun is like a father that is giving the warmth and support to the mother with the children. That is a business model, actually, because our life is a business. So every time we step into the shadow and we stay into the shadow and we're lingering in the shadow, we actually withdraw, we take our energy from the collective accumulation of energy. And so if so many people step out of the sunlight into the shadow, then then we actually create a bigger shadow. And as we show up with our inner light, with our passion, and stepping toward that which we love, that what makes you feel good, then those diagnoses of bipolar, yes, we are all chemically imbalanced, because we live in the time when aggression, it's not aggressive sales in your company, it's an aggression in the world, which translates into the company, translates into the home, translates into the shooting. We live in Chicago, it's crazy. Every day somebody is being shot. So the aggression is out there. But if we go into aggression, or we hide from the aggression, it's the same bipolars, the two extremes of the same situation. And I truly believe that stepping into the light is about finding what is important for you and sharing that with that smile of yours that you were just doing. And that is enough. If somebody sees your smile, it might make somebody's day. And if somebody sees you're crying, it also affects the people. And so all the time we're looking for some very special impact, but what you're talking about is the impact. And the more of that you're doing, the more of your focus is being translated into that what you want. It's not about being there, it's about living that. And we talked about the other day that you can work for being paid. It's a good way to look into things, but then you always depend on that, and you're hourly paid for whatever, and you're never satisfied because you always depend on somebody. And then there is a way to work for the status and be important. But when you put importance on yourself and on your money, for sure you're going to lose both, because too much focus on that is it's not very natural for people. And then we talked about how you start becoming professional. You learn things and you work because you now have the skills, and you want to sell your skills, and you're good at it, and it gives you the status as well. But that is also just the beginning. Once you have these skills and you know what you're doing, you get to the point where you're an expert, when people know you, that this is you who has that field around you that attract people, because you are an expert now, people understand you. But there is this other way of seeing yourself and being yourself is when you own the situation. And I think where you arrive right now is that you are in a place of owning the situation. No matter what, I know I'm in charge. And it's not about I have the business, I don't have the business. I have the business of my life in my hand. And I know that the sun is shining somewhere and I can find that place. I don't have to be in the shadow ever. And the next step of all of that is when you live it. And you're lingering in this place right now. It's like, I own it, but now I'm fully on and I am ready to live it fully, no matter what. There is no more doubts. I know that sun is giving me life and I take it and I am ready to live in the sun. I'm not gonna, no longer I'm gonna put my focus, my attention by worry about it or thinking about it. I'm not gonna put any attention on the shadow whatsoever because it's not my energy, it's not my quality.
Right.
So that's wonderful, it's amazing. Julie, can you talk? Where are you? We see your name, but we don't see your beautiful face. I miss you.
Well, I'll turn it on anyway. Hey, there's my chat. It's gonna be a real challenge to get my phone pointed the right direction. Perhaps I can rock.
You can't be worse than me.
It's so good.
My face is like extra tall.
Well, that's not the worst thing. My face is always red in the camera. So we're recording it for other people to see. So if you really don't want to be seen, it's up to you. But it's good to see you.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks. Yeah, I've seen Lana a lot of weeks through Facebook Live, but she doesn't see my video, just my little emoticons, tapping, sending hearts and stuff. I can't actually remember what the initial question was, Lana.
Where do you step into the shadow? Where do you get out on the sunlight? And how and what's on your mind for this week? Because this is the week of revelations. So we are looking into things being revealed and sunshine being on our face and being blessed by energies of the week. Okay. Where are you in the time and space?
Definitely in a weird spot. At work, I had been offered an opportunity for something that I wasn't quite sure would be a fit, but it had some aspects that I really value, namely like having a lot of autonomy, being able to use I have a really good skill set for problem solving and analysis that I don't get to work with complex enough problems, and this was going to offer me possibly some doozies. So that was lighting me up. And other aspects less so, but I thought, I'm interested in pursuing this path because it could let my life be something else, and also be able to live comfortably without working full-time necessarily, or like different hours, like not a 9 to 5. And then I'm like, that would be cool because I could pursue other interests that will not be lucrative, but that are also feed my soul. I have a deep divide between creative and analytical, and I often can't bring them together. So that evaporated this morning on somebody's whim and their miscalculation. So part of me was upset, and part of me is like, I might have dodged a bullet because there were a lot of unknowns. And part of me is like, but I also got all this really good information about myself out of being able to consider it. So that's one part of the light and shadow dance. Another part is that almost on a whim, it was just like the way timing worked out and plans changed. I ended up doing Reiki training over the weekend, which is
nice.
Not, like, I'm partly skeptical and partly like, yes, but these things keep happening, and like I have some gifts, and it was nice to spend some solid time exploring that part of me that still like runs in the background wherever I am, because the radar is on and operational. And so that was another thing, that another way of lighting me up that I thoroughly enjoyed and would like to spend more time inhabiting, like those spaces and ways of being in a more focused way than just sort of having it be the support staff in the background of my existence. And at other times I, like, routinely for my work, need to work with people who are not particularly competent or good on follow through. Like, they're nice, well-intentioned people. They might even be intelligent, but they're not good at their jobs. And I get to wipe everyone's ass. This is not feeding me at all. This tries my patience and earns me purgatory points. It's like, it otherwise doesn't work. It takes the battery down. And like, thank God I have a couple of colleagues that are really good to just be with and like kind of vent to, but also just like know that we're having a shared experience with the frustrations that we have. So it's not about just getting down on everybody, but being able to be heard and seen for where we're at. And but still, that's getting me through, and it's not feeding. So so I've gotten some really good data about ingredients of my life that are feeding me and not feeding me, but like what the next direction is still way out there for me, because it's just like, what job description has these ingredients? And if devil's advocate could be one of them, that would be perfect.
If the Zoom ends, I'm sending another one, Lana, to you so we can fire back up, okay?